When most people think of large language models, or LLMs, they imagine massive cloud-based systems running on powerful GPUs in distant data centers. But what if you could bring this intelligence right to your desk? Thanks to advances in both compact LLMs and edge devices like the Raspberry Pi, running AI locally is now a practical reality. In this video, we'll explore how local LLMs change the way we interact with AI, offering privacy, autonomy, and creative control. We'll walk through why Edge AI matters, what the Raspberry Pi can handle, and how to set up your own local model for real-world automation. Let's dive in and see how you can make AI truly yours. Edge AI is about bringing intelligence closer to where data is generated. Instead of sending your information to the cloud, you process it locally, right on your device. This shift isn't just technical, it's transformative. Running AI at the edge means your assistant is always available, even without internet, and your data never leaves your control. For many, this means enhanced privacy, reduced latency, and the freedom to experiment creatively. In this scene, we'll discuss how local LLMs on devices like the Raspberry Pi are changing the landscape for automation, privacy, and personal innovation. Traditional automation tools like N8N work on simple rules. If this happens, then do that. But AI agents, especially those powered by LLMs, reason through language and context. They don't just follow triggers, they make decisions. Imagine a system that decides whether a summary is needed based on what's changed, rather than just sending one every night. The more autonomy you want, the more computing power you need. On edge devices like the Raspberry Pi, resources are limited, so you must choose your use cases wisely. Still, even with these constraints, the power of local AI agents is impressive. Running your LLM locally brings a host of benefits. First, reliability. Your assistant keeps working even if the internet goes down. Second, security. Your data never leaves your device, reducing exposure to breaches or leaks. Third, privacy. No third-party logging, no API key leaks, and no compliance headaches. This is especially important for sensitive environments like home labs, classrooms, or remote locations. The core idea is simple intelligence should live beside your data, not above it. This is the heart of the Edge AI movement. Let's get specific about the hardware. The Raspberry Pi 4 or 5 is a popular, low-cost microcomputer. It features a quad-core ARM CPU, up to 8 GB of RAM, and storage via microSD or USB SSD. There's no dedicated GPU, so models must be quantized to run efficiently. Despite these limitations, small models with 1-3 billion parameters can handle tasks like summarizing text, generating to-do lists, or managing logs. The Raspberry Pi is accessible and versatile, making it a great starting point for Edge AI projects. When running LLMs on your Raspberry Pi, you have a choice between using a web interface or the command line. Web interfaces like OpenWebUI are user-friendly and great for dashboards or multiple users. However, the command line interface, CLI, is often faster and uses less memory, perfect for lightweight projects. For more advanced setups, you can expose a REST API using frameworks like FastAPI or Flask, enabling remote access and integration with other tools. Choose the interface that best fits your workflow and resource constraints. To run a local LLM on your Raspberry Pi, you'll need a runtime environment. Ollama is a popular choice. It simplifies model management and makes running LLMs straightforward. Installation is simple. Just run a single command in your terminal to install Ollama. Once installed, you can easily download and run lightweight models. Ollama handles the heavy lifting, so you can focus on building your applications and workflows. With Ollama installed, you're ready to run your first model. Start by pulling a small, quantized model like Phi-3 Mini. Then, launch it interactively using the command line. At this point, your Raspberry Pi is running an LLM fully offline. You can interact with it directly, asking questions or generating summaries. This simple setup unlocks a world of possibilities, from text improvement to task automation, all without relying on the cloud. Now that your LLM is running locally, it's time to connect it to an automation tool like N8N. Suppose you already have N8N running on your Raspberry Pi. First, make sure Ollama is serving your model as a local endpoint. In N8N, add an HTTP request node that sends prompts to your LLM. You can then chain this with other nodes like file or email to automate tasks such as summarizing logs and sending updates. This integration brings reasoning and flexibility to your workflows. moving beyond simple scheduled tasks. With your LLM and N8N connected, your automation becomes smarter. Instead of running tasks on a fixed schedule, your agent can check if conditions have changed before acting. For example, it can analyze system logs and decide if a summary is needed, then email you only when it's relevant. This approach saves resources and ensures you only get the information you need. If your Raspberry Pi can't handle both N8N and Ollama, you can run them on separate devices within the same network for even more flexibility. Let's look at a practical example. Imagine every morning, your Raspberry Pi reads your Markdown journal. Your local LLM, running on Llama, summarizes yesterday's progress and generates a list of today's goals. Then, N8N writes this output into your Obsidian Vault, or Notion database. This creates a private, explainable, and reliable personal assistant that helps you stay organized and focused without ever sending your data to the cloud. Edge AI isn't just for hobbyists. Across industries, local LLMs are making a real impact. In healthcare, assistants can summarize patient notes without leaving the clinic network. In manufacturing, on-site anomaly detectors explain sensor events. In education, classroom tutors generate quizzes from local content, fully offline. Researchers use Edge notebooks to interpret experimental results in the field. And in home automation, language-based control of devices is now possible through platforms like Home Assistant or N8N. The common thread? Language as the interface, locality as the constraint, and privacy as the guiding principle. It's important to be realistic about what the Raspberry Pi can handle. While it's great for running small models and lightweight tasks, it won't replace your laptop or a cloud GPU for heavy-duty AI workloads. You'll need to choose models that are quantized and optimized for edge devices. Still, the trade-offs are often worth it. You gain privacy, control, and the ability to experiment without relying on external services. For many use cases, proximity and simplicity matter more than raw power. Let's clarify the core concept of Edge AI. Edge AI refers to running artificial intelligence models directly on local devices rather than in the cloud. This approach minimizes latency, enhances privacy, and allows for real-time decision-making. Edge AI is especially valuable in environments where connectivity is limited or data sensitivity is high. The Raspberry Pi, with its accessibility and flexibility, is a perfect platform for exploring the potential of Edge AI in practical applications. Running a large language model on your Raspberry Pi is more than a technical experiment. It's a new way to think about AI infrastructure. You don't need massive scale for every intelligent system. Sometimes, what matters most is proximity, simplicity, and control. With tools like Ollama and N8N, you can build private, reliable, and explainable AI assistants that fit right on your desk. Whether you're automating your home, managing sensitive data, or just exploring new possibilities, local LLMs on edge devices open up a world of opportunity. Ready to try it yourself?